afternoon. My name is Amanda and welcome to the Done Creative. Before we get into this pick a card reading, I just wanted to let you guys know I have a live stream channel and a Patreon. Lots of exclusive content over on Patreon, and I do live readings over on my live stream channel. So check both of those out. Links for those are in the description below if you feel called. But for this pick a card reading, we're going to just get a message that you need to hear right now. Just anything your guides, your higher self, source, the universe, whatever it is bringing to your attention today. And it's no accident that you clicked on this video. So if you're new to pick a card readings, I just ask that you close your eyes, take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to center your energy, and focus in on pile number 1 with the Fuchsite, pile number 2 with the Prophecy Stone, and pile number 3 with the Lemurian Clear Quartz Crystal. Once you've selected your pile or piles, you can go ahead and check the description box below for the timestamps, and I also pin them as the top comment. But please remember, these are general readings, so only take the information that resonates with you, your life, your situation, and just go ahead and sweep the rest of it away. So without delaying this any further, I'm going to give you a moment to meditate on your cards, and I will see you over at your reading. Alright, group number 1, or those of you who selected this beautiful sparkly Fuchsite, this is going to be the message you need to hear right now. And let's just go ahead and start with the tarot, then get additional guidance from the oracle cards. Oh wow, so we have the death card, dun dun dun, and we also have the love card. I actually really love this because we've got a heart coming out of, like, we just see the bones. We don't see all the mucus and the blood and the tissues and the cells. Like, we really don't see cells anyway because they're so microscopic, but you know what I'm saying. We don't see all of the meat, so to speak. It's just the bones and then the heart, the muscle itself with all the blood vessels coming out. This is beautiful. This is letting you know that you are literally getting to the heart of a situation, especially in your love life. If you are singled or your love life really isn't your focus, this just is you showing up in self-love. This is you showing up in love in all relationships, because love is a universal energy that underlies everything that we constantly have access to should we choose to love, unconditional love. And this to me almost feels like a chance meeting. Like, to me, this is like a Starbucks logo here at a coffee shop, just both people working. Maybe this place is really busy, so they kind of had to sit at the same kind of bar stools or something, and they both go to reach for their coffee and touch each other instead, and then look up from their screen, which, you know, a lot of people are very fixated on their screens, but I'm seeing, like, it's like the human touch, like, brought them back to reality. So for some of you, it's like you just need a good hug. You need a good handshake. You need a good just embrace. I don't know. I just see you having human connection and not just talking face to face with someone, but actually, you know, putting the sense of touch into the mix here. And it's interesting too because this doctor looks very hands off, and it's interesting also that their face is blacked out. It's like, is this a man, a woman? It's really hard to tell. It could be a woman, could be a man, very amorphous. It's really hard to know what's going on here. And it's a very sterile environment, and really the only color we do see is on the shirt here and in this heart. And the colors really come alive when you bring love into the situation, because we all have a heart. Certain people use and choose to love from their heart more than others, and I think you're just being called to find a new cycle. It's like you're transforming the way you show up, transforming your self-love, transforming the love you have for others, and not making it so transactional or conditional, but actually just showing up authentically from your heart. And regardless of what the other person does, you're okay with it. Because a lot of times if we show up and show that vulnerability and then someone doesn't reciprocate that, we can take it personally, or, you know, we think, well, I'm putting in all this effort and work and they're not, so I'm going to stop. Or if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Like, so many relationships, friendships, parent-child relationships, significant other relationships, co-workers, so many relationships are so transactional or so conditional or so I scratch your back, you scratch mine, that sometimes we just forget that we are creatures of love. We are souls with unlimited amounts of love within ourselves, that we don't even have to search that out in the world from other people, but we forget that a lot. And a lot of times when we come home to ourselves and rediscover that self-love, then we can see love in the rustling of the leaves. We can see love with the squirrels, squirreling away all their little nuts for the winter. We can see love in someone who is maybe yelling at someone they love because they're in pain. And a lot of times love can trigger pain, and other pain can trigger pain. So it's like you're getting a higher view perspective of how you're showing up in the world and giving people more grace or more leeway to show up in the way that they best can. And sometimes their best is nowhere near your best, but you're not going to let that hold you back from loving from your core, from your soul, from your heart. Oh, I love this so much already. Well, let's get into your oracle cards to really add some fuel onto this fire. My goodness, wow. Do we have some transformation? I could feel it. And this really is you transforming the way you show up, mostly with yourself and mostly with like a significant other. I'm picking up like twin flame vibes with these kind of twin or mirror images of this woman here. We've got the soulmates card. Wow. But it all starts from within. It all starts with you. Because 1 plus 1 can't equal 2 if you're not even on board, or if you're not really coming from your, overflowing cup. It's a very Ace of Cups energy that's turning into a 2 of Cups energy. But you can't have a 2 of Cups without that initial Ace of Cups, if that makes sense. It's really what I'm seeing. But really just mirroring what we said here with the transformation. But some of you may have felt you've been in this chrysalis a long time and you're ready to get out. But here's the thing that, we usually forget in the process of from the egg to the caterpillar to the chrysalis to the butterfly. There's 2 very important steps that really aren't talked about as much. And it's the amount of struggle that has to go on within that chrysalis and then emerging from said chrysalis. And Spirit's checking in on my phone over there. But emerging from that chrysalis, that takes so much strength and struggle and just determination. And really, to me, the emerging of that chrysalis is you learning to love yourself first. Even those of you who have been in a relationship for a very long time or don't even have a relationship, the key to having a fulfilling relationship is fulfilling yourself first. And then giving from that overflow of your Ace of Cups, because you are one half. Like I always say this, you are one half of every relationship you are in. So if you are, really coming from a place of wounding and pain and self-hatred, self-loathing, self-sabotage, all the things, we think, oh, I'm only hurting myself. Really, though, you are hurting yourself, absolutely. Am I holding back too much? Like, you question so much about who you are and, what you're doing. And Spirit's almost saying, get a little bit selfish to come home to yourself and really cater to that self-love aspect. Even if you're already in a relationship, just, having a deep conversation with your significant other, especially if things haven't been great, and just say, I'm really working on me. Doesn't mean I don't want this. It's just I'm going to get a little self-focused for a while, a little hermit energy, because you're going to be able to show up better. And it doesn't mean you have to completely take a break from a relationship at all, but just say maybe I need 1 hour a day to really focus on my inner world, or I need, a day a week where I'm just completely by myself, really doing that introspection and self-transformation. And I'm pretty sure that this person will not only understand, but also want to take a page from your book. It's really powerful what's coming through here, you guys. Transforming your soulmate connections. And soulmate connections aren't just those romantic, one-on-one love relationships. You could be soulmates with a brother, a coworker, someone you just met online. I mean, there are many forms that soulmates, soul family show up in your life. This does feel very like twin flame though, or very like romantic soulmate to me. So I think many of you, if you don't have a romantic soulmate in your life already, this is part of your evolution or transformation in the future, is to have that romantic pairing. Because penguins do mate for life, and that's really the theme I'm getting here, especially with this number 41, which adds up to 5, which is just a reverberation of this transformation and death card, change. But a lot of times with change comes conflict, comes chaos, comes destruction. Tower moments can happen. But through these tower moments, after that's over, the star appears, the sun comes out. You really step into your light. Wow. This is so powerful, you guys. Oh my goodness. But we're going to go then tune down here to to this inner temple card because it says devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. And that's exactly the vibe I'm getting here. That's the only thing of real true color or illumination on this card. Everything else is very sterile and whitewashed, just grayed out, grayscale, except the shirt, but which is still in and of itself a little grayscale version of blue. But that heart is very crimson, very like it invokes like a guttural reaction because everything else is so sterile and muted in tone that heart really stands out front and center. And it is front and center in the card. So tuning into the portal of your heart, that's a very like Hathor energy is what I just heard. So maybe even looking up the deity Hathor, which I think is a goddess. I don't know a lot about Hathor, but I did once tune in a healing session I did with someone that they had a massive portal of their heart and they were a Hathor starseed. I had no idea that existed, and then just relayed that information because that came through with my higher self and my guides, and then I actually went and did a little research after the fact and I was blown away. Maybe you yourself are part of the Hathor starseed collective, if you will. So maybe look that up. That's a very nurturing, loving, divine feminine energy you're bringing to this connection. Even if you're a masculine, it doesn't matter because we're all comprised of divine feminine, divine masculine. But this is you devoting first and foremost to yourself. And then you can show up and devote yourself to others in any way you see fit. But with this, the Fates card, yes, the star has appeared. You know, it's like they're showing me like the Bible story. Like the star appeared in the sky and that alerted everybody to know that, oh my gosh, something amazing is taking place right now. And a very similar, but maybe not as climactic version of this actually happened on September 23rd of 2017. There was the great alignment of the star in Virgo. I don't know. You can look up the September 23rd, 2017 star alignment to get more information on that. I don't remember the exact specifics, but basically Virgo gave birth to, oh man, I can't remember which planet. I know Jupiter was involved, but I think Jupiter may have been at the feet of the Virgin. I can't quite remember, but go look it up if you feel called. But otherwise, this just lets me know this is big energy. This is a shift. This is a transformation, a change, a death and rebirth. Very scorpionic, very Plutonian vibes going on here. And with the number 17, you may see a lot of the number 17. You may see a lot of the number 8 because 1 plus 7 is 8. But this is all about taking action, about finally paying forward or getting the fruits of the labor you've paid forward to so many people. It's now coming back to you. A new cycle of abundance and divine feminine receptivity, receiving, is coming online for you, which is so powerful. We also have focus. So really this is you really narrowly focusing in on your self-love and the way you show up as love in the world. And anything that lights you up and makes you feel that love, that joy, that peace, that contentment, that excitement, that inspiration in your life, this is where your focus should lie. But first and foremost, the focus should lie on the healing and the moving through the mud and the muck, the struggle through the chrysalis, because you've got basically 3 death cards or 3 transformation and change signals here on the table to first make the changes you need to make to show up as your most authentic and true self, most loving self. And then you're taking action and focusing on the things that light you up and bring you love and bring you happiness. Because you can't feel love inside from an external source if you're not already feeling it on the inside, if that makes sense. So then we also have the Awakening card. Yes, we do. Energetic upgrades and a new way of being, integration. And that really just wraps up everything. I didn't mean to save this one for last. It just, Spirit directs me where they direct me, and that's that. Because I don't look at the cards before we get started. I just deal them face down and we jump in together. But this is you integrating all the stuff we've talked about because you are awakening these light codes coming in from the sun and the cosmic radiation and all this help we're having from the realms beyond what we can see and feel and taste and touch. You're getting so much guidance and love and help. And you needed to hear that, I think, because some of you a lot of times feel you're doing it alone or you're going it alone or you have to take all of it on yourself and not allow anyone to come in and help because you know best how to do these things. But really, Spirit knows best. They want you to remember that because they have that bird's eye view where you're just lost among the moss and the bugs and the beetles. Not that you're lost, but you know what I'm saying. You can't see that bird's eye view of, wow, there's so much going on over here because you're so immersed right here and in this teeny little circle. You don't even see this. It's not even on your radar. But Spirit, it's on Spirit's radar. And Spirit's like beacon of signal, or a signal to you like, hey, walkie-talkie, shh, okay, this is going on over here. So just be aware, heads up, this is coming in, over, shh. Like, and then you're like, 10-4, over, shh. Like, cute. I love when Spirit gives me funny little things to talk about like that, but I hope that makes sense to you. This was fun. This was, not lighthearted and lovey-dovey and rainbows and ponies, but like, you guys have a little bit of a roadmap now to dig yourself out of any hole you've felt you've been in, or to move yourself through any hard emotions that you've been going through. Like, there's so much coming in for you, it's insane. Like, I mean, I could probably just continue to channel more information from Spirit about this, but I think I'm gonna leave it here because, wow, there's a lot for you to process. So, yeah, we're gonna leave it here. I love you guys. Please don't forget to share any stories you want. If you want to check out my live stream channel or my Patreon, I would greatly appreciate that. That would help. The views over here have kind of tanked, but I had a little heart-to-heart with Spirit, and I'm just seeing that I'm being called to stand really firm in a more spiritual way and show up in a more spiritual way. And that's going to weed out a lot of people who are really not spiritually based, and they can find other readers who will tackle more of the mundane things, because pretty much all of my readings lately have just, even if it's on a more mundane topic, they just completely turn spiritual. And, I'm here for it. So I'm embracing this new shift, this change. I'm surrendering to whatever Spirit has for me, and whoever decides to watch these, it was meant to be. And whoever doesn't, who watches and who doesn't, none of my business. That's what Spirit's basically told me. I'm trying to get into business that's not even mine. So if you've watched this, you're in my business, I'm in your business, and I love you. You are amazing. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks again so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you right here back at the Den Creative. Also, over on my other platforms where you can find linked in the description. All right, bye! Alright, group number 2, let's get into your reading. If you are anything like group 1, buckle up. I did not realize Spirit was really diving deep today, but they are, if you're anything like group 1. So let's get into this. We're going to go ahead and start with your tarot and then get additional guidance from the Oracle. Oh, wow. Okay, we've got some things going on up in here. So with this Peace card, this is like a Two of Swords energy, but this is from a Thoth version of a tarot deck, the Urban Tarot. So it's slightly different meaning than your traditional Rider-Waite, but I'm actually picking up like my own downloads from this. So I'm going to let you know what those are. So it says peace here, but really this depiction, the only thing very peaceful about this is the sun. But the fact there's nowhere to hide from the sun, like this looks like bright midday kind of sun. There's no shade you can kind of protect yourself from. So it's almost like things have been too overpowering for you, or the energy coming in has been a lot, or other people's energy coming at you has been a lot, and you just kind of want to close yourself off because we've got all this barbed wire and this very high fencing. We've got a little duck. We've got, man, I don't even know what this is. It kind of maybe looks like a picnic table. We've got a swing set. This to me feels like inner child. And being able to tap into that sense of peace with the good things that your inner child still has going on. But in order to really be able to tune into that, it's like you got to bring these walls down, get rid of this barbed wire, maybe put up a little shelter that you can, sit beneath, or maybe plant some beautiful trees. That's an even better thing. Plant some beautiful trees that will provide shade on a really hot day. You're doing the inner work. This is what this is saying. You're doing the inner work, and as a result of that, yeah, you're going to have obstacles. You're going to cut yourself on this barbed wire possibly as you're pulling it down, but it needs to come down. The pain that you're going to endure bringing these walls down is well worth the payoff of peace and love that you are going to get as a result. Holy powerful. Okay, Spirit is delivering. So we're already on the power train right now. We're on it. The conductor just blew the whistle. We are ready to roll. We are leaving the station. Here we go. You ready? I told you to buckle up at the beginning of this, and I'm glad I did, because we're already on the track and ready to go. Yes, we are. But this is beautiful, because this lets me know that, at least in my little collective of my tiny little spot on the internet, the people that come here, you guys are very advanced souls, very old souls, starseeds, lightworkers, earth angels. You know, I'm not a label person, but sometimes it does help to label ourselves a little bit so we kind of have an idea of, you know, what we are. And it's not so convoluted and amalgamous. Is that a word? Is that the word I'm looking for, Spirit? Amalgous, just almost like a blob. It's almost like what human body would be if there were no bones beneath it. It's just too amalgous. Like a big blob. But what I see with this Ace of Cups coming in next to this Two of Swords is self-love. Self-love for days. I mean, that was a huge theme in Group 1 as well. So again, collective energy coming in for all of you right now. Whenever you're watching this is a timeless reading. So it doesn't matter if this is 5 years after I filmed it or the day I post it. You are included. Your energy was scooped up by Spirit and put in this beautiful blob of energy to be read today. Wow. And self-love. And this cup to me looks empty, which is interesting because there's this fountain just spouting all of this water. So it's almost superimposed this clear glass cup over this fountain and saying, you have more love available to you from within than you could even fathom. Maybe you operate a lot of times with walls up, with your cup barely got any in it, and you try to help someone else and a little drop comes out, and then there's nothing left for you at the end of the day. Maybe you self-sacrifice yourself for everyone else, and then at the end of the day, oh, sorry about that, Spirit's checking on in, and then at the end of the day, you're like, where is mine? I don't have any left. I'm so thirsty, and there's nothing in this cup. It's time, just like we said in Group 1, I think, for some of you to get a little more selfish with your time, effort, attention, and energy. Maybe you're just like an energy leak going on. I'm very popular today, apparently. Maybe there's holes in this cup or a crack and all the water is just pouring out and you're not realizing. And this to me is like a subconscious thing. It's like you're not realizing that so much of your effort or attention or time is being siphoned in a way that you can't see clearly. And that's why you need to hear this message, because we're going to highlight, I think, some of the ways that this energy is leaking without you even realizing it. It could be what you're consuming, like content, certain content. Fear-based content is a great way to suck all the life out of the room, to take all your energy away, to take your power away. Of course, nothing can truly take your power away. It's the illusion that your power has been taken away that can rule the day. You know, this fence here is an illusion, but it feels nonetheless real when we cut ourselves on it. Am I right? Yeah, that's how powerful our manifestations ability is. We create worlds, we create realities with our thoughts, with our subconscious beliefs. That's how powerful we are. Yet we're living under this guise that we're not powerful at all. That person has my power. I don't have any power. You have so much power, and you're so money and you don't even know it. Swingers. The movie, like not calling you swingers, but I'm talking about the movie. Baby, you're so money and you don't even know it. It's been at least 12, 15 years since I've seen that movie, so like I might be misquoting it slightly, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you're so amazing and you forget that. It's like you take for granted how amazing you are because you put that power in everyone else's palm around you. Well, maybe not everybody, but certain people in your life, you give them your power to tell you your worth. Of course, all of us do use other people. Oh my gosh, I'm so popular. We do use other people in our lives for mirrors to bounce our own inner reflections off of. But how we're feeling on the inside, we're going to see that on the external, and then the external will come back and hit us right between the eyes or right in the chest again. And if we don't like what we're seeing inside or outside of us, we have the power to change that. You have the power to change that right now. That is what you need to hear. So let's see what else is building on this. Let's see where you're leaking that energy, because that to me feels like a theme. Leaking energy, or someone else has plugged into your energy and you didn't even know there was someone using your power source. Well, let's find out what's going on. Let's get some oracle cards in on the situation. Oh my gosh, you guys. The first two cards I put down, I'm like already like, oh my gosh, yeah, everything we've been talking about, even the word power source. Holy cow. And your power does come from source. But somehow, some way, you are being siphoned of your energy by other people. You're allowing, maybe even at times, conflict and chaos in your life. Instead of you having, the chaos and the conflict and then you trying to move through it and beyond it, maybe sometimes you guys attach to it and, these are Spirit's words, so do not shoot the messenger. Maybe sometimes a little bit play the martyr or the victim about how out of control your life is, or how you're not where you want to be because, in my own thing with Spirit, kind of hip checking me and allowing me to realize that the algorithm is not out to get me personally. The algorithm has no personal interest in anything. The algorithm is the algorithm. The algorithm runs. Because nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop the messages that are coming through me in getting to you. So the fact that my viewership has kind of muddled down to almost nothing, this lets me know maybe my message is coming through. This lets me know that the messages coming through are only for a select few of you on my channel lately. The fact that I have gone back to the same views I was getting when I had 3,000 subscribers, this lets me know that maybe a great portion of my subscribers just are not meant for these higher messages that are coming through. And when that clicked in my mind, I'm like, oh, I've had the power all along. It's just certain people aren't going to resonate with this, and that's okay. They don't have to. This is not why I do what I do anyway for the numbers, but when you see certain numbers and then they completely dive bomb, like, that's a little hit to the chest. That's a little hit to the ego. But again, no one's out to get me. I mean, I did get death threats here, and that really took me out for a couple of weeks. I pulled back on this channel, but as far as some external source, they can't take my power. There's the illusion that maybe they have taken my power, and then I can start creating a reality from that. And maybe there's ways you guys have done this in your own life lately. But let's just do a little thing right now where we're taking our power back. Okay, so let's close our eyes, take like 3 deep breaths together. Ready? One more. Okay, so you can either say this out loud or in your head, or just right along with me. All the illusions of my power being taken away are null and void. My power has never left my heart. My power has never left my aura, my presence, my soul. I am operating at full capacity and no longer allow external sources or internal thoughts to take away my power. And so it is. I might have to write that down and do that a few times a day to remind myself certain things. And I think maybe you guys could do that too. Thank you, Spirit, for letting me channel that through. I love that. But yeah, underlying this power struggle we're having within ourselves or with other people is chaos and conflict. Pretending to be something we're not. This zebra here is painted over like a giraffe. And no amount of amazing paint. I mean, you could hire a perfect, amazingly detailed artist to create these little giraffe pieces on you. These little pentagons or whatever they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, pentagons. Looks like that are going on this giraffe here. Giraffe. That does not... Even if this replica is almost like 99.99999% of the original, it's still not the original. And underlaying that paint is your original blueprint. So some of you may have been trying to be other ways than your authenticity. Because we have the truth card coming out. So some of you may have even spoken your truth to someone in your life and they didn't want to hear it and they cut you out. Or they somehow wadded that up and then threw it back in your face and made you feel bad for being able to say what you felt on the inside. Could have been with a significant other, a soulmate. Could have been maybe even with one of your children if you have them. Power struggles with children. We got a little pouty child up here. We'll get to that. Because I'm hearing inner child already. Your pouty inner child. They want let out of this prison you've put them in. Yeah, you've provided a swing set and a little ducky and a picnic table, but like, there's so much more your inner child wants to experience than what you allow them to. But as you take your power back, you're gonna free this beautiful inner child from the restraints that you've put it in. And you're gonna dig this inner child up from your past and bring it along in your present moment and into the future. But more importantly and specifically, the now moment, right now. Because that is where your power lies, is in the present moment, is in the here and now. That you can't change the past, you can't predict 100% the future. Because once that future comes, say we're talking about next Tuesday, whenever you're watching this, it could be on a Tuesday, it doesn't matter. 7 days from now, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 days from now, next Tuesday, you have no power in next Tuesday. You might think, okay, I'm gonna meet with this client Tuesday, and then I'm gonna pick the kids up from school, and then we got this thing to do. Those are like projected possibilities or potentials of next Tuesday. But if you don't take the action steps in the now moment to get you to that Tuesday and then start taking action, getting in the car and driving to the school to pick the kids up, that thing's not going to happen. You can project or plan for the future. But unless you take action in the now moment, in every now moment, in any now moment, you're not going to accomplish that. And with the past, those are now moments that are now gone. But there is a fun exercise, maybe not fun, let's say a healing exercise you can do where you do tap into past moments where you felt your power was taken away from you and running it back through where you had your power all along, maybe saying different things, making different choices with the people involved or the situation, and healing it, because you can heal the past through your present actions. Does that make sense for you guys? Because I know exactly what Spirit's trying to say, but I'm hoping I'm hitting the mark. Because we've got a 5 here. 32 adds up to 5. And we've got a progression from 32 to 33. Master 33. You maybe even see 32 and 33 on the clock. Or like as you look at the clock, it's like 9:32. And as you're still looking at 9:32, it shifts to 9:33. Because you are progressing through this. And the way to do it is by finding that inner power and speaking your truth and showing up from that place of love with your cup overflowing, bringing these walls down. But this takes time. This is not an overnight sensation. This does not happen in the blink of an eye. Sorry. These things are dancing. I'm getting animated here. These don't happen in the blink of an eye because healing isn't even a linear process where you start here and then you just keep going up, 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 up. Okay, I'm healed. Yay. Healing is twisted and messy and spiral, just like this barbed wire. And you might get cut, like we said earlier. You might get cut on that. You might not. It all depends. But really what we need more than anything here is this inner child to be freed. Because this inner child will help you tune in and tap into this place of love within you that maybe you have had closed down since you were a child, or since even past lives. You maybe didn't even feel it as a child, and that's why there's this fencing and barbed wire around the playground of your inner youthful environment in your life, in your heart, in your soul. But you're freeing this inner child, because look how free she is. She's just, or he, but in this depiction it's a little girl. And it says, you are here. She's floating on this little egg, and there is a door of opportunity open. I just heard Spirit say this is a door of opportunity. But to get to this door of inner truth, of opportunity, you need to reclaim your power. And as a result of you reclaiming that power, you may have a lot of chaos and conflict show up initially in your external world. And you think, well, everything's falling apart, so obviously I made the wrong decision here bringing my power back. Everyone hates me. I lost my job. I need to move because my landlord's selling my place, or, whatever it is. I mean, it's going to be different for each of you. Just examples. And you're like, there's no way this is right because everything in my life is falling apart. And Spirit's like, wait, what if everything that you've built on was on a faulty foundation and everything's not falling apart, but it's actually falling into place? There's a difference. Because when we build our lives from that place of ego, it's always 100% of the time on a faulty foundation. But we can build our dreams, our hopes, our wishes, our desires, our intentions from a place of our soul, from that Ace of Cups, that inner love, that self-love. We have a much better chance of hitting our target. I won't say it's 100% though, because we still have the free will of others involved and all of that, but you're a lot better off because it's 0% when you're allowing ego to run the show. It may though, with ego, it may seem all perfect and rainbows and butterflies for a while, but it always crashes and burns when your life is built on a foundation from ego. 100% of the time, it will eventually crash and burn. Even if it's successful and feels good for 20 years, eventually, if it's not from the heart, it will fall apart. Ooh, Spirit's rhyming up in here. I love it. But in addition to this inner child, here and now, being very present in the moment, bringing that inner child up from the chains of the past and bringing it online in the present, this inner child wants you to hear the fact that you need more play in your life. You got the play card. Have fun, celebrate, and don't be so serious. Especially if you've got all this ish going on. And you're really bringing your power back and trying to speak your truth and love yourself. You don't have to be so serious about it. Have fun with it. Life is fun. I mean, none of us get out of this incarnation alive. The body doesn't come with us. But the soul, the lessons, the memories, all of that is etched in the Akashic records forever. It is forever. The body, that's what we leave behind. The lessons, they ring true throughout infinity. But I think one of the ways that you guys really are reclaiming your power, finding your peace, finding your self-love, finding your truth, is breaking the chain of the past. Because she's floating. It's almost like she was tethered to the past. And now she's floating between the past and the future, in the present, exactly where she should be. Or he, again. Examples. You're breaking the chain that was tethering you to your past wounds, past traumas, past, they did this to me, they did that to me. Yeah, they did. And it was hard and it sucked, but many of you may not even be where you're at now if those bad things hadn't happened. So there is a silver lining here. And I'm seeing the planet Jupiter kind of superimposed on this. So Jupiter is about expansion. It's about luck. It's about prosperity and positivity and spirituality. In Vedic astrology, it rules your husband and your children. This is so powerful because look, with this break the chain, you're breaking ancestral patterns. You're healing and rewriting the future, just like we were talking about with the future. But the future technically occurs in the present moment because actions you take now will lead to those future moments that will then, at their point of time, be your now moment. But like I said, that exercise of tuning into the past and bringing your full power online in any situation, relationship, circumstance, and healing from things. And some of you are so done with shadow work. You're like, I just can't tune into the past any more than I already have. I'm just over it. I'm done. Be done then for a while. Just be done. And really feel into this inner child and play and excitement and self-love. Do what you're called to do. But I think most of you, many of you in this pile, there's still a lot of stuff from the past that even if you've done a lot of healing, there are subconscious loops and programs and ancestral and DNA trauma that is just embedded in every strand of your DNA that you are working on and maybe even still have yet to clear and cleanse and bring peace and power and truth and self-love to situations. But as you heal yourself, you heal the past generations. As you heal yourself, you will rewrite the future for future generations. Do you know how powerful you are? That is a rhetorical question because you are powerful. Come on now, people. Oh, I love you guys so much. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for being the select few that are here on my channel. I actually feel like these messages are even more powerful when there are fewer of you seeing them, and it really brings my heart joy that you guys are, if you do benefit from this specific pick a card. But I know in my past pick a cards, those of you who do like to share your journeys and your stories, that my pick a cards do help, and that just brings me so much love and joy and fulfillment. And I just want to just bounce that right back to you guys, because you guys really do help me cultivate the content that is needed in the collective, even if that collective is just a very small amount of you. I love you guys. Feel free to share any stories in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys. Please don't forget to share any stories you want. If you want to check out my live stream channel or my Patreon, I would greatly appreciate that. That would help. The views over here have kind of tanked, but I had a little heart-to-heart with Spirit, and I'm just seeing that I'm being called to stand really firm in a more spiritual way and show up in a more spiritual way. And that's going to weed out a lot of people who are really not spiritually based, and they can find other readers who will tackle more of the mundane things, because pretty much all of my readings lately have just, even if it's on a more mundane topic, they just completely turn spiritual. And, I'm here for it. So I'm embracing this new shift, this change. I'm surrendering to whatever Spirit has for me, and whoever decides to watch these, it was meant to be. And whoever doesn't, who watches and who doesn't, none of my business. That's what Spirit's basically told me. I'm trying to get into business that's not even mine. So if you've watched this, you're in my business, I'm in your business, and I love you. You are amazing. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks again so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you right here back at The Den Creative, and also over on my other platforms, which can be found linked in the description below. I'd love to see you guys there. It really does help support what I do here. So thank you so much. All right, bye. All right, beautiful group number 3. If you guys are anything like the previous 2 piles, which I'm already going to go out on a limb and say absolutely you guys are magical, masterful, old souls that decided to come down here to Earth and help this Earth ascend to a higher dimension. Thank you. I just want to start by saying thank you. You guys, we went deep in groups 1 and 2, and I only expect that we're going to do the same in group 3, because these messages that are channeling through are so powerful today. I talked in both piles about how my viewership has completely tanked on this channel, but it's been by design. And now that I understand that, I can leave that frustration at the door that, maybe my readings aren't that good. No one wants to watch them anymore, and all of these things. But Spirit told me otherwise. It's just that these messages are so powerful. Only a handful of my viewers, and maybe even possible new viewers, can handle the depth that these messages are going on in my channel now, and probably maybe moving forward, because I have felt a very big shift. I can feel a shift for you guys as well, because we are connected. That tapestry of life, we're all connected. This is so powerful. I have no idea what these are. I deal them face down. I am just as excited as you are to see what is going on here. Lots of clearing of past traumas and wounds we have already really tuned into with groups 1 and 2, but also tapping into future amazingness. So let's get into it for you. We're going to start with the tarot and then get additional guidance from your oracle cards, just like we always do over here. So let's see. Oh, yeah, you guys are bringing the thunder. Thank you for that. Oh my goodness. Wow. We've got the Knight and Princess of Swords, and this is a Thoth-based tarot deck. This is called the Urban Tarot. It's not based on your traditional Rider-Waite, but there are many similarities, but there are also vast differences, and I'm actually really glad that I chose this tarot deck for this specific what you need to hear message today, because, oh my goodness, Spirit has really shown up for us today, so I can channel some amazing messages, and you guys are no different than the first 2 piles. So please, let's get into this. Amanda, be quiet. Let's do it. Well, don't be quiet, but just calm yourself. Let's bring Spirit through. So with this Knight of Swords, this is called the Game Master. This is you changing your strategy. Things that maybe have worked really well for you in the past, maybe recently just started not working at all, or maybe even working against you. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? That everything seems to be falling apart, but I'm working harder than ever. I'm putting more of my heart into this than ever. You know, case in point, my channel, like I just was talking about, how the viewership has tanked. And of course, very first thing you'd think is, what am I doing wrong? Why was this working for so long, but now it's not? You're not doing anything wrong. I want to tell you that. No matter what you have going on, you're not doing anything wrong, especially if it's coming from your heart. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the people, the situations, the external whatever it is, doesn't vibe with your higher vibration now. And so there has to be shifts. There has to be changes. You have to go after what you want. Because the old is done. The old is, that age of Pisces is closing out. Just as that new age of Aquarius is coming online hot. It's coming in hot. Whether we're ready or not, Spirit has been rhyming like that. Crazy. So funny in all the piles today. I love it though. I'm here for it. Spirit's got to show up in a whole special extra way for you guys. I can already feel it. You guys are going after what you want. You're not standing for the BS anymore. BS means whatever you want it to mean. But to me, a lot of times, BS is belief systems. And of course, bull-ish. For many of us, it's bull-ish. We're done with the bull-ish in our lives. We're moving towards something that feels good and resonates with our soul. Not just our ego or our financial gain, but our soul. Some of you may even be stepping away from a job that did pay really well, but it just sucks the life out of you. You're done with it. But as a result of you taking that leap of faith in a new direction, even if at first you don't have that same high income or, the income you did have, or, the stability you thought you had, you're finding it as you go. Because she's literally here up on a platform. He's playing on a game board or a platform. Some of you are online. Some of you are trying to gain a following, gain a platform. You may be doing what I'm doing here and maybe having a very similar thing happen to your channel or your platform that has been going on with me. And maybe some of you are still stuck in that. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? I mean, there's always room for us to improve and want to expand on what we're doing. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do better. Absolutely not. But especially if you're coming from a place of love and wanting to help others and provide a service that's going to change people's lives, if you've been doing it from a place of love, you're not doing it wrong. I have a bubble forming here in this wax right there, and I'm wondering if it's going to pop. I don't know. It does they do sometimes. Once in a while, they're like, pop. It's moving. It's on the move. But it's like Spirit's saying, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but when this bubble bursts, it's like, think of the constraints of a bubble. You're contained. There's no room to expand. Oh, there it went. No room to expand. And right as I said that, it popped. Thank you, Spirit, for delivering that. It's so cool. I love when Spirit shows up in the physical, not just through my channeled messages as well. So you guys can see the magic at play. Oh, another bubble's forming. So as you overcome certain obstacles, new obstacles will come up and arise. But guess what? You can break out of those as well. You can overcome those as well. You can rise above those as well. No, there's two. And they became one. Divine union for some of you. Twin flames uniting. Okay, we don't even need cards today. What's happening? We'll just use the candle to conduct the rest of the reading. I'm being extra sassy today. I hope you guys don't think I'm being weird. I'm here for it. Because we are being called to level up. Literally, she's leveled up above the crowd. And it does not make her better or worse than anybody. She's just on a different vibration, a different resonance than she was showing up before. Or maybe the places she was vibrating and resonating, because she has leveled up so much, it's just beneath her. Again, judgments aside, it's just not fulfilling her dreams, her destiny, her desires, her goals, her highest divine purpose here. But you guys are rising above it, so you can fulfill your divine purpose here. And there's a real big bubble right here now about to burst. A little one just popped up below it and burst instantly. So it's like the bigger and more you expand your bubble, when obstacles do come up, there it went. Yes, thank you, Spirit. Oh, here comes a little one again. But what they were showing me was the more you expand your bubble, it's like you can move more freely within that bubble, even if there are constraints to kind of guide you to the way you're going. Keep watching the bubbles. I don't even know if you can see it from way up there. Hopefully, because there's some magic going on here. But as you expand, it's like those little obstacles that become part of the way for you, it's just like, ain't no thing. I'm moving right on through it. It's almost like they don't really register anymore. Like being, if you start out on 89.7 FM and you tune that dial up to 93.7 and then 93.9 and then 94.3, however they kind of go by odd numbers, I do believe. But the farther away and less noisy the static of this old radio station is for you, and there's Spirit coming in for some confirmation. But some of you have something to say, and maybe before you've been held back, or maybe right now you're feeling held back from being able to say it, from speaking your truth, from getting messages out to the collective from your platform. But maybe certain people aren't ready for your message yet. And as a result, it looks like your crowd has completely thinned out. But think of the quality of those vetted individuals, those very few vetted individuals that are still standing in the crowd, and they resonate with what you're saying, and you resonate with the questions and the comments that they bring to you. It's a unification of spirit right here in the 3D world or 5D world, depending where you resonate. You're finding like-minded people. You're finding soul family. You're just leveling up so much that it's hard to find the footing. It's hard to even know some days what game you're playing. Am I playing chess, checkers, or Yahtzee? I don't even know anymore. Spirit, take the wheel. I don't know what's going on here. But you're finding your soul tribe. You're finding those of you in business. You're finding soul clients. You're finding clients that resonate, where you can provide an amazing service for them and they can provide amazing stuff for you back. The energy exchange, not even just of monetary exchange and transaction, but like raising the vibration along the way. That's so powerful. And the bubbles just keep on going. Spirit, when I say keep on, it reminds me of the Brady Bunch movie from the 90s. You gotta keep on dancing on through the night. I don't even know if those are the lyrics, but that's what Spirit's showing me. Like, keep your chin up. I mean, look, she's not looking down like, oh, I don't know what to say. She looks very calm, cool, collected, and competent. All those C words. No, not that C word. That's yucky. But she looks like she is ready to take on the world. She doesn't have to, though. But she feels like, yeah, I'm ready to charge ahead. Maybe yesterday I didn't even know what game I was playing, but like now I've got a strategy. I understand. I'm playing chess. Okay. There's where all my pieces are. There's where all your pieces are, or, the opportunities, or maybe even opposition. That's where their pieces are. And I'm going to do this, and I bet they're going to do that. But even if they don't do what you're thinking they're going to do, at least you're prepared. You're prepared for your next step of evolution. You guys have something to say. And you're just finding the best way to say it. Yes, let's get some oracle cards in on this. Let's see what else is going on. Well, like 11 minutes to do 2 cards. That's how in-depth these readings are today, and I'm here for it. Let's get these laid out. I actually had 2 other decks out to add to this, like a card here, so 4 more cards. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because less is more is what I'm hearing from Spirit. I mean, I probably could have just used this candle and these 2 cards to really get what we were needing to get, but I can still see there are more coming through. So yeah, your diligence, your willingness to continue, even though things look a little disturbed right now, or maybe even in the near future, you're like, I don't even know what game I'm playing right now. But your diligence, your commitment, confidence, cool and collectedness, the C's, they're raising you up so you can actually see. You have that bird's eye view of what's coming for you. And both these depictions have birds. And in this deck, if you watch piles 1 or 2, You realize not all the depictions have birds, but you guys have birds, which birds are messengers from spirit. You also have a bird here, an owl, wisdom. So you guys are getting messages from spirit. Maybe you're automatic writing. Maybe you're channeling. Maybe you're tarot readers. Maybe you use other forms of divination, or you just have a close connection to your guides or your higher self or God, whatever. But you guys are getting a lot of downloads and information from spirit. And in return, you're going to want to shout it from the rooftops. But maybe certain people aren't for you anymore. Not for you. Oh, interesting. Amanda, come on. Look. Nope. Certain things aren't for you anymore. You're defeating old versions of a game. Maybe you found a way to merge the game of checkers, chess, and Yahtzee. Because those are the three I mentioned earlier. Maybe you found a way to combine all three of those games to make like a super game that we can't even wrap our heads around. It's so intricate and detailed and intense. But you're realizing maybe the old ways of operating, the old games you used to play with yourself, the old games you used to play with people in your life, they're not working anymore. Because most of those old games were based on ego. And with this 6 here, this is self-love, this is nurturing, this is balance, this is temperance energy, mixed with justice energy, mixed with the Empress energy. This is loving yourself. This is finding love-based ways to connect with people from here on out, rather than, for those of you maybe in business, or, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, transactional kinds of showing up in relationships like we talked about in group 1. You're just coming from the heart. And maybe you realize off the bat there are certain people in your life that they could never come from the heart if they tried. They could never. They just could never. But you can. And it's not to say you can't still love those people, even if it's from a distance. See, maybe people have cut out some narcissistic family members, broken up with someone who was very toxic to them, friend, significant other, again, family members. But this is for your highest good, because you're the hand, you're the hidden hand here. Not even spirit, you. You can turn the tables on this game anytime you see fit. Any minute you choose. You're like, yeah, I'm done with this, done. Just throw it away. Over it. Because it's interesting now, we've got a window that looks like it's kind of boarded over. Kind of like the shutters that are put when there's a hurricane coming. But then interesting how that same thing is reflected here, but the shutters are not boarded up windows. That window is not just no wood over it, but like it's open. The panes of that have opened. As you let go of what is no longer serving you, and not from an ego and selfish standpoint, but like from your heart, what is no longer serving your love, your heart, your higher vibration, it's falling away out of your life. That's why some of you are in pain right now, and chaos, and dark nights of the soul. But you're releasing yourself from that. You're open to new opportunities now, because you've gone from the 14, which adds up to 5, to the 6. There's progression. But changes are coming to the way you speak your truth and show up. Princess of Swords. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. I didn't even say that right. I said stuff instead of stuff. That's how shook I am. You guys. You're opening the doors to your heart. And certain people don't deserve to see into that window or to walk through those doors with you. And like I always say too on my channel, certain people that maybe resonated with you in the past, or maybe even recently, that just don't resonate anymore, they don't deserve a place at your table. Because think of all of the people in your life, the jobs you have, the responsibilities you have, just every little thing going on in your life, every relationship, everything. There's only so many hours in a day and so much you can focus on between all the different areas, all the different people. So cutting out people that bring you down or just don't vibe with you anymore, that can free up seats at the table for people who can really show up with you. Like I was saying, those few people that are still out in the crowd applauding you on and seeing you rise and happy to rise with you, that's who deserves to be having a seat at your table. Not those people that maybe at first were in that big crowd standing in the back shaking their head like, what is she talking about? What is he talking about? Oh my gosh, look how tight her clothes are. Look how weird his haircut is. You don't need that negativity in your life anymore. Toxicity be gone. You're on to new ways because you're telling your truth. Even if you're not yelling it and shouting it from the rooftops, though I think some of you are, it's like just what you allow in your life or not allow is speaking the truth for you. Just sort of allowing certain people to kind of phase out of your life, or maybe having those hard conversations and saying, hey, you know, we've had a lot of good times as friends, but I think we're just kind of going in two different directions, and having that hard conversation, but having it from the heart rather than, you're toxic, get away from me, you know? You're just opening up. But of course, before you open up, you have to release what's no longer serving, and releasing, unbinding yourself. Very devil energy with this. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Releasing yourself from the past will set you free. And for many of you, truth be told, telling your truth will set you free from all this past stuff that has just crippled some of you. Crippled some of you into staying the same just because you didn't want to offend anyone else around you that just wanted to stay the same all the time. You're done with that. And if those people can't stand to see you shine because it hurts their eyes, it is not your responsibility to provide sunglasses for them. They can go buy their own sunglasses or just turn their head. You know, you don't have to apologize for showing up as your authentic self anymore. You're done with that. You've removed the mask. You're now seeing things from your own eyes with your full face, naked and standing up to the world, like proud. Her chin is up, it's not down, looking down at her feet, shuffling around like, I don't know what to do. No, because look, as you unbind yourself, your head is looking up, ever higher. Just like this bird being able to have that top-down view. Yeah, maybe the bird's looking down, but because it's risen so high, now everything is below it. So it's like, oh, wow, okay, here we go. But you're still looking up. And I just heard that song, Love is Lifting Me Higher. I have no idea who that's by. I can't remember. It's an older song. If I think to remember to go Google it for you, I will put it over here. Your love is lifting me higher, 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 and higher, I think is the lyrics of the chorus. So it's about finding like-minded or souls that vibrate on the same, soulmate energy, soul family energy, that's vibing high just like you are. And allowing, certain people to leave that seat at your table and allowing new ones to come in and sit at your table and break bread with you in ways that just blow your mind because the people before held you back so much. Or maybe you held yourself back so much because you didn't want to offend those at your table by shining and speaking and singing your truth. But you're done with that because you're birthing a new age, birthing new creations and dreaming a new world into being. But before you can dream that new world into being, it's just like that chaos of, I don't even know what game I'm playing. But once you merge those three games of chess, checkers, and Yahtzee together and create your new game of life, you can bring fun and excitement and passion and inspiration to the table and adventure. Going new places, trying new things, stepping out of comfort zones. This is very North Node or Rahu energy right here. Adventure. So wherever your North Node or your Rahu, it's called Rahu in Vedic or sidereal astrology, and North Node in Western tropical astrology, wherever your North Node is in your chart, this is a very important part of where you're being asked to step out of your comfort zone. And wherever the North Node is currently transiting your chart, whichever house it's transiting, that is a place where you're also being called to step forward and try new things. Example, in my chart, the North Node is currently transiting my 8th house, which is not a very easy transit, but it can be a very exciting transit as well because the 8th house is the house of death and rebirth. As a Libra ascendant, it's, at the time of my filming, it's in Vedic astrology, it is in the sign of Taurus, but in Western astrology, I still believe it is in Gemini. So whichever one resonates, I'm not saying you have to do sidereal astrology, but if it resonates, feel free. But for me, this is, really tuning into the deep parts of myself and, really expanding my tarot practice, because divination falls into the 8th house as well. But you're finding out what's not for you anymore. You're cutting ties, maybe cord cutting meditations. I have a cord removal meditation that I'm still working on. It's written, I just need to do it, but I think I'm going to premiere that over on my Patreon. It's powerful. I've done it with my own twin flame who passed away, and just some of the toxic cords between us that were going on in the past in a relationship and before he passed away. I needed to cut those. I mean, he was my best friend, but there was unrequited love with me to him. I didn't reciprocate his romantic love at any point during our relationship, our friendship. And that really devastated him. And it also devastated me because I couldn't do that for him. So there was a lot I needed to cut from the past so that we could have a new way of operating in our twin flame journey, with him beyond the veil and me still here. And not me just weighed down by all the toxicity. I mean, there was so much amazingness and love between us, but also just codependency and all that too. Like, it happens. But maybe some of you, that union, divine union we were talking about, even if you are in separation from your twin flame, or you don't know who your twin flame is, or you don't think you have a twin flame, it doesn't matter. Whatever resonates for you, take the messages that do resonate, but finding that self-love within and really working on your own game of life will also then trigger and ripple effect to your twin flame, your divine counterpart. Every ounce of work you do, it will be reflected in that person, because that person will then feel the pull, the tug of your connection. Yeah, even doing a cord removal, that does not remove the connection between the two of you, but it can remove the toxicity, the stuff that's not working. Because once you do this cord removal or cord cutting meditation, the second you think of that person again, there's a new cord created. But instead of having 50 cords from the past, past energies siphoning your life force, you remove those, all of those, and then you work through it, create a new game, a new cord that's way more high vibe, way more loving, way more truthful, way more just new and fresh and loving. So I think that's all I'm seeing for you. Please don't forget to share any stories you want. If you want to check out my live stream channel or my Patreon, I would greatly appreciate that. That would help. The views over here have kind of tanked, but I had a little heart-to-heart with Spirit, and I'm just seeing that I'm being called to stand really firm in a more spiritual way and show up in a more spiritual way. And that's going to weed out a lot of people who are really not spiritually based, and they can find other readers who will tackle more of the mundane things, because pretty much all of my readings lately have just, even if it's on a more mundane topic, they just completely turn spiritual. And, I'm here for it. So I'm embracing this new shift, this change. I'm surrendering to whatever Spirit has for me, and whoever decides to watch these, it was meant to be, and whoever doesn't, who watches and who doesn't, none of my business. That's what Spirit's basically told me. I'm trying to get into business that's not even mine. So if you've watched this, you're in my business, I'm in your business, and I love you. You are amazing. So thanks again so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see you right here back at The Den Creative, also over on my other platforms. Links for those can be found in the description below, and that is just a way you can support what I do here. And I really appreciate you. All right, bye!